Hello and welcome back to Taken Off Air, Taken Off TV, Taken Off whatever we're called now. It's our birthday, bitches. We are 2 years old.
Mentally and in terms of the podcast.
Yes, both. We are officially toddlers. Hey,
That
so
changed all the names to taken off air. So it's twitch.tv/ taken off air because Cal
I
kept
stumbled.
going, oh, taken off air. No, it's taken off TV.
Well,
Taken off TV is on YouTube because I can't change that.
it's because like
Which works because
the
it's not on
main
TV.
thing was the podcast. The podcast was called Taken Off Air, and in my mind, that was always the main thing. That was always our main recording thing. It didn't matter about the streaming or anything like that. Our main thing was the podcast. So it was just Taken Off Air was the only thing that came to mind. But
Well,
anyway,
you're not wrong.
we're having a little bit of a lackadaisical celebration of this. This is going to be the last sort of deep topics one of the year until we get into more of the light-hearted type things, because it is our birthday, but it's also nearly the end of the year, which means season 2 will be coming to an end soon.
There's only 2 more
I know,
episodes,
it
and then
seems
we've
like
just got the holiday
season-
specials.
Yeah.
I know it's to some of our regulars. I feel like it ended a while ago because last time we uploaded was the 12th of November. So apologize for that.
It's only been a month.
But you've only, to be
It's
fair, though, they've only got Jay to
3
blame for
weeks.
that.
Don't blame me.
It was entirely your fault.
It wasn't.
It was,
I
and
blame,
then it was,
I
it
blame-
was the week after.
I blame the budgeting we have.
Which
The
is
budgeting we
you're
have,
in charge of
aka
it.
our pockets.
Yeah.
To be fair, we have had a lot of shit happen in this singular month. I crashed my car, and it ended up costing £500 to fix. And that's with the insurance paying for the repairs and stuff. That's just the excess, and then getting an MOT and getting it taxed all in the same month.
Jesus.
I don't talk about MOTs.
Don't
My
crash,
MOTs
kids.
due in 2 weeks. Yeah, my MOT's due in exactly 2 weeks.
I have no idea when my MOT is due. My MOT was due in February on my old car before I sold it.
Oh.
I might not have an MOT. I haven't got a
I'm-
clue. I'm taxed on next year. That's
I'm
fine.
weird to get rid of the Jag now. It's becoming a massive pain in the arse.
And you were so happy to have the Jag. You were so excited. You were like, I've got a Jag! And now you're like, oh, I've got a Jag.
That's because deep down he's an old man that doesn't think about the financial implications of owning a Jag.
He thought he could walk
I've
into
got
any
children
hotel and
to
just
care
steal
for.
what he needed.
I've got more financial burdens as it is. I don't need it. The Jag is just making another financial burden on me.
That's the thing, you're a Jag owner, you can just go to a hotel, steal all the condiments and stuff, and then fuck off again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but can he sell it? Because I'm a hoarder, aren't I?
Well, yeah, just use
No.
free hotel
Yeah, I apologise
shampoo,
for that.
soap, and conditioner for the rest of the year.
You don't have to pay restaurant bills. You don't have to buy condiments or shampoos or anything else you can find in a hotel room. Dressing gowns,
Right.
Fridges,
slippers, trouser presses. I like got a
beds.
few of them.
The only reason why I want to do this stuff is because
Jags break down and they're
own a
expensive to
new
fix.
Jag. Everything goes wrong, especially a lot of the sensors. My main
Yeah.
issue is the sensors and the springs.
Ooh, we had a very interesting Renault issue. Good old French Electrics.
Oh, not French Electrics, that doesn't.
This
doesn't
old
exist.
woman brought a Renault Kadjar in that she bought for about 6 months ago. Because when you get in and you turn the ignition on, the wipers go on. And you can't turn them off. And I'm not talking like intermediate, they're just sitting going as fast as they can. The mechanics had a look at it, and by the time they pulled it out, when you turned the engine off, the wipers were still on. Then they pulled it in the next day to have a look at it, and by the time they'd finished that day, even when you turned it off and locked it and immobilized it, the wipers were still on. The only way to stop them was to unhook the battery.
So they just made it worse.
It had to go to a Renault garage, and we got like a 600 quid bill because they replaced like ECUs and stuff like that. And when it was finished, there was still some kind of fault. but they kind of stopped the wipers just being doing what the fuck they want, basically. But what made it even better was the guy, the mechanic who was working on it, parked it up, got out, locked it. Wipers won't go off. Fuck's sake. Okay. Opens the bonnet, goes away to get his little spanner to unhook the battery. Right. What? It's a Renault, so when you walk away from it, it decides I'm going to lock myself now because the key's not with us. Right. He then unhooked the battery, shut the bonnet. The next day, they went over to get it. Couldn't unlock the car because the key was in the car. He didn't walk away with the key. The car just decided, he turned us off, I'm going to lock.
So they'll lock themselves out of
How
the
do-
keyless car.
I don't, yes.
How
don't
did
know.
how did they rectify the issue? That's what I want to know.
They had to lift it up on the 4-post ramp and get a very long piece of wire and unhook the bonnet so that they could connect the battery and use the button on the door to unlock the car.
That's how you steal Renault Clio, everyone. Frank
A Renault
Slater.
Kadjar. If it's got its
A
wipers on,
Renault
it's not worth it.
Kadjar. If it says Renault, just walk away.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is the thing, though. Like, I like the look of a lot of Renaults. They've got quite nice styling. But
No,
every time
Kyle.
you hear anybody talk about, like I was looking at a Peugeot recently, and it looked absolutely lovely. I sat in it; it had loads of legroom. It was absolutely fantastic. And then I had a look online, and all you could see from every review was, "It's a lovely car. It's fantastic to drive, but it's French engineering, so don't count your chickens."
Kyle, there's certain things
stay
that
away
certain
from French
nations do
cars.
well, and the French do like cheese well and wine
And
They
baguettes.
don't do electronics.
and baguettes.
Why do you think half of France is still lit up by fucking gas lights and candles?
Why do you think the
It's
Eiffel
not to
Tower is still
romanticize the
the
city of
skeleton?
Paris. It's just because I haven't figured out fucking electricity.
Electricity. Do you know what I did learn about Paris? And this is quite cool. There used to be a system in Paris, right, where there was a pump that was on a timer and there was pneumatic tubes all over the city. And your clock was pneumatic. So every minute there would be a burst of air pushed through the pneumatic system and it would move your minute hand. Yeah, your minute hand. A minute.
I want that. That sounds
Yeah,
amazing.
that's awesome. There was a
So
hotel that
imagine-
had like 500 rooms and every single one had a pneumatic clock on it.
That sounds amazing, but also imagine how loud that clock is. Just minutes gone by.
You know, I think when the clock in the room just gets a...
I don't
You
know.
what
It
I'm
depends on
thinking?
whether they
Going back
actually
to
did it
car
properly.
though.
Sorry, Jay?
You know how like Volkswagen had like the
Yeah.
advert always had Das Auto at the end,
Yes.
right? I think most one of the French brand cars should have at the end a non-electro.
No, non-electro.
Just to
No
advertise.
electrics. None working electro anyway.
Hey. That's actually.
Nothing
know
in
how-
it you won't fix.
You know how the Eiffel Tower is just a big bit of scaffolding?
Yes.
Could you turn that into a giant Tesla coil?
Well, it does have lights on it.
I know it's got lights on
That
it and it's
don't
got a
work.
work and lift. Well, work and lift.
Do you want to know something
from what I've
interesting
heard,
about
it doesn't work
the
half the
Eiffel
time.
Tower? You're not allowed to take... You're not allowed to commercially use photos that you take of the Eiffel Tower at night.
At night,
At
specifically.
night. Specifically at night. In the daytime, absolutely fine. At night, the lights are on. Right. And if you take a photo, you can be copyright struck or you can be sued because the lights that's on it, the design of the lights is actually copyrighted. So if you take a photo at night, the lights are on and you can't use it without the proper licensing.
Okay, I want to know what the fuck kind of lights it's got on because
They're just fairy lights, dude.
It can't be anything special. I'm about to say. So why the hell not?
It's just because the light design, i.e. the lights that are stuck on the side of it that are the shape of the Eiffel Tower, they don't really have a design. They're just white lights. It's copyrighted.
Sorry, I am turning the phone off
It's
because
alright.
the amount of times we have done anything and it rings every time we try and do anything with recording or video calls or anything, someone phones my house phone.
But it won't call any other
So-
time, just when it's convenient for them.
No, they don't. You could be at his all day and the phone never rings. The second he fires up a recording or tries to do something, it rings.
Yeah. It's
In all fairness, I haven't heard it
second.
ring in our production meetings or any of our
It
other
did
meetings.
last week at some point.
It did last week,
Yeah.
and this week it's because I
Tuesday,
turned
I
the
think.
bastard off.
Right. Talking about places
So
that
someone's
are
saying
like
energy saving bulbs from Tesco's. They probably are. If they're on the Eiffel Tower, they will be the energy saving bulbs that take 20 minutes to light up, and then even then, you can get a bloody bigger light from the
So,
tiny little keyring torches.
so what you're saying is it's Tesco's fault that we can't take photos of the Eiffel Tower at night.
Which countries does Tesco come from?
Are they horses? So probably like
UK.
China. Actually, the French eat horses as well, don't
This is the thing, I never know which country these shops come from because they all just use these simplified little names that sound like they're from nowhere.
they? Tesco, it'll have a meaning.
Google is
Hold
offhand.
on.
Google is always offhand.
Google is always
Tesco.
our friend. It's a British multinational groceries and general merchandise retailer headquartered in Vale Garden City, England. It's the third largest retailer in the world, and the ninth largest. It's the third largest according to gross revenues, and ninth largest according in the world measured by just revenues. So it's
In
apparently
nine-
British.
In 1919, Jack Cohen started selling surplus groceries from a stall at the East End of London. Mr. Cohen made a profit of £1 from sales and £4 on his face, so probably about the same turnover as Tesco's now.
Yeah. I
It
wonder
appeared
why the fuck it's
the
called Tesco.
Tesco brand appeared in '94 when he bought a shipment of tea from Mr. T. E. Stockwell. Dude, he bought a shipment of tea from someone called Mr. T. Stockwell. T. E. Stockwell. He stocked tea well and he sold
Guess
some.
what he's got?
There's some non
You know what
determinism
really annoys me about people and Tesco's?
that eat horses.
Not the fact like you got the Grand National in the fucking freezer in aisle 4. No, it's like people be going to Tesco's and having a look around. And then if you've been in Tesco recently, they have the normal price and they have the club card price.
I
Right.
like it.
Everyone will
I like it
complain
when you
about
go down the
club
freezer
card
aisle and
price
see
being
people
so
curling.
much cheaper than a normal price. And they just like to complain about it and think it's wrong. Yet they don't realize when you first went to like the doors of Tesco's, it's big saying join club free.
So,
Well,
but that's
is-
not
is-
Tesco's. That's a customer's. If you walk in and it says do this for free, and then you walk down an aisle and something's dearer, I would sign up in the shop.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing though.
Save some money.
Is it one of those things where it says join now free, but down the line we're going to charge you monthly or yearly for it? Or is
No,
it
it's just free.
actually
It's just
free?
like
I've
Nectar
been-
card.
I've been a club card holder for the last 6-7 years now. They do have like a pay monthly subscription, but that didn't last very long because normally did it because the features they offered weren't
Shit.
like
Nobody did it because their
The-
customers drive drugs.
they were shit. Let's open my club card.
Nobody did it because the customers are people like Jay who just sit there and watch them ice curling down the aisles or doing the Grand National and then wanders off with a pack of biscuits.
Yeah.
And Jay can't deny that because
Absolutely.
I have been with him in Tesco and we've went there looking for specific things and left with mostly biscuits.
So what
You
we're
need
saying
to
is
keep your
Tesco's good for
beacon
biscuits, but
open,
not
man.
light bulbs.
Basically.
But not the French.
Hey,
Oh,
Christ.
It's good. It's
I'm
useful consumer advice.
No, they don't have that paid subscription anymore.
Oh, that's a shame. Well, no, it's not a shame. It's a good thing because I don't like paid prescriptions, but you know.
Jay's just realised now because he's never actually paid it.
Hey.
But I've got £2 of vouchers ready to spend
Oh yeah.
to be used by 2023.
Well, I mean, suppose there you go. You can buy something.
10 quid's worth of stuff for the £2 voucher.
Yeah.
I mean, you do have a Jack.
How would you get a £2 voucher?
I know.
£2,
What's it?
I
How
can
are
buy
you
all
going
of
to £2
these
voucher?
and that.
I have
Get
never
some
seen
custy
a,
boys in.
I've never seen a voucher under a fiver. Like how? I mean,
Yeah,
you can buy some Freddos.
You can. If
You
you,
can.
I
No, you
found
can
a
buy
pack of
a
six
single
Freddos for £1.
Singular.
You can buy 2 packs of
You're
Freddos.
lying, Stefan. Stop lying to
Fucking not.
yourself.
No,
Fucking not, mate.
I have seen the
Fuck
6-pack of
yeah.
Freddos for £1 myself
It was
as
at the
well.
co-op and it was on. It was reduced.
It was probably because they were out of date, honestly.
No, there was a full shelf of them. No, I checked the dates. Even though it's chocolate, it
makes
doesn't
sense.
matter.
Hey, yeah.
Chocolate doesn't go out of date. It just goes mildly still edible.
Still,
Still.
my chocolate doesn't move.
I know. Does yours
Just eating
look
chocolate frogs on Harry Potter.
Hey, something's going wrong if your chocolate's moving, dude.
He's been eating chocolate frogs from Harry Potter.
Like going back to Paris and that.
I
Let's
like the
talk
fact that
about
Jay's the only one that says
notorious.
Parry.
Well, that's how they fucking pronounce it, isn't it?
That's how
So
the
we
French
know that
pronounce it.
Paris
No,
and
you,
the
you need more.
French-
You need more phlegm. They say Parry.
Sounds like they're saying Harry.
Or Paris
are-
frog legs or Paris.
It's probably the
Talk about
frog legs
French.
in the food.
Not about the French. They're most notorious for their shit electronics and cars. Tesco's is notorious for
Jay, you've went
fucking-
underwater.
Yeah, you have one quiet, dude.
Did I got going to water?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
you're
better?
going underwater.
Yeah.
That's better. Don't put your hand in front of your mic, basically.
Tesco's is notorious for the Grand National burgers.
And
What is
lasagnas.
Northeast most notorious for?
The Northeast. Yeah, I would say, well,
Yeah.
notorious.
I would say either the
It's not a
coal
bad thing.
mines, the strikes, or us getting Margaret Thatcher butchered.
Yeah, minor strikes.
I'm talking more precisely about one major city.
All right, so what major city? What city?
So probably if it's what's the most famous city in Northeast, it's probably going to be Newcastle, isn't it?
Yes, it's Newcastle upon
All
Tyne,
right.
party centre.
I was
Where
going to
we're
say,
notorious
getting
for
pissed.
partying. We're notorious for our shitty choice of food.
What do you
But
mean?
there's one thing that is the hardest thing for anyone to do that comes from up this way.
Is that differentiate? Is that be able to have other people understand them when they differentiate between I and A?
Where I man. Basically, the Geordie accent is massively popular. Apparently, it was voted for one of the most sexiest accents ever.
Fucking bullshit.
I
It
don't
sounds like
see it.
shit.
Can you imagine that? You know, you're watching some porn and some guy goes, "Where I pet a Bendiara." Okay, mate, calm down. Basically, I came across a news article. Right, the whole
Was the news article written by a Geordie? Because that would explain this whole thing.
apparently yes by Sophie
I missed,
Brownson.
sorry, Jay, but I
50
missed that
cents
because
a
I was being
reporter.
brought snacks and drinks.
Oh god.
They weren't requested. I was just giving them.
The title is quite relevant to what's on TV at a minute. Can you call my sister and pretend to be Ant and Dec? The strangest requests made by Travelodge guests in Newcastle Theatre.
Pretend to be Ant and Dec.
What? This is. I feel like it's racist because they're the same. All sound the same.
Basically, yeah. So I'm gonna read off some of these weird requests, and I'm sure you guys should know the pain of being requested odd stuff. Because we all bit of distracting step open up a snacks. Because we all work.
Dude, I've got look at me tiny pepperonis. The
I
cheese
hate
made it into
pepperoni.
there.
I hate pepperoni. I have the
Calm
cheese,
down.
but I hate pepperoni.
I'll pass you some. Yeah.
Same.
Ah.
My favorite request on this page is, can you tell my wife that we have to sleep in separate rooms due to social distancing as she snores and keeps me awake?
I feel like that's a valid request. Can I
I
request
feel-
that at Travelodges?
I feel like that is an amazing request for hotel staff, and I feel like if you are a good member of hotel staff, you will go full on out and try and make sure that the wife fully believes that every single person in the hotel has to abide by those rules, and that she has to sleep in a separate bed in a separate room.
I was going to say a separate room, but I'm only paying for the one.
How long?
Oh, that's
how
like a
long
dream
does
for
my
Jay. You get double the
24-hour
stuff.
parking last?
What, sorry, Joe?
How long does my 24-hour parking last?
24 fucking hour.
Dude, I've heard
Does
things
the
like that
angel
before,
of the
and honestly,
north? It's ridiculous. You know, they're giving themselves the answer within the question. Does the angel of the north ever visit the south?
I
It's
feel
a
like that's
fucking
got to be a
solid-
piss, Jay, because it's a fucking statue.
Yeah, it's a giant fucking statue. How the fuck would it move? Do they think it's an actual
so it's a very
angel that at
short list
night
anyway.
gets wings, gets like proper wings and fucks off around the country? And it just likes living, standing in that one space in the north, in the middle of a field, in the middle of nowhere.
I fucking hate Angel of the North. I
I've
honestly
only-
do.
I've only ever been there once, to be fair. Like
The Angel of the North.
me
Of the
and
South.
Jay, when I was at Jay's a while ago, I stopped at a hotel near him, and I could see the Angel North from the hotel, and it was quite close. I never realised how far down south the Angel of the North actually was.
Yeah, that's close because we live. To anyone who doesn't know, we are northerners to Newcastle.
Yeah, we are like northern.
Well,
We
not
are
Jay, at the
northerners
minute.
to Newcastle. We are northerners to most of the north.
I work on the outskirts of Newcastle, and I travel south to work.
Well, yeah, Jay's the outsider here because he used to live up here with us, and then he moved down south towards the Angel.
Fucking southerners.
I've been close to that angel. I live more south towards that angel.
This is why he's a hipster,
Talk,
because he
talking
moved down
about a
south,
hotel,
and now he
a
likes
really
to
nice hotel room, though.
It was a really nice hotel room, to be fair. However, the walls were quite thin. I could hear snoring on the other side of the wall.
Well, it's a good job. That's all you can hear.
Right, for you guys to, like, at home or listening, I helped Kyle find this hotel where we went on a massive adventure. And then
We
when
were.
went
We
in the
just,
room.
we just went on a massive adventure trying to find one.
To be fair, our adventures usually end up getting
We
thrown
went
out
to
when I
the
start 2 o'clock in the morning.
No, wait. Before you say anything else, Jay, let's just point out that we rocked up as a wedding reception was leaving.
It was a funeral, wasn't it?
Same thing.
Was it not a wedding? I can't remember. I just remember that and the fact that when we got to the room, we looked outside the window and we saw some dude doing Tai Chi out the window.
With the angel
What,
of the north
like
with the
he was
fucking-
outside and you saw him, or he was
background.
hanging out the window doing Tai Chi.
Yeah.
There
It
was
was
like
a very nice hotel. Don't know. I stayed in a lot of hotels in my life, and it was a nice hotel. But
it was
what
a nice
got me
hotel.
was
It was far better than Premier in my eyes.
Me and Kyle do the best
There was
hotel
ice-
goes.
Yeah,
there was
definitely.
an isolated corridor outside Kyle's room,
Yes.
right? And in the right hand corner of the isolated corridor, there was a singular wooden chair.
Bear in mind, the corridor also slanted downwards, so it's like there wasn't enough headroom or anything to sit in the chair. It was just sitting there.
Okay.
So me and Jay
So
did
me and
what any
Cal stole the
responsible
chair.
adults who have seen horror films do. We stole the chair and put it in the cupboard.
Yeah, why not?
With bungee cables and cable ties.
I just love the fact that we'll put it
Can you
in my
imagine the
room. It's not like we'll
clean-
put it anywhere else. We'll put it in my room.
To be fair, Jay's original plan was to put it in his car.
Weird shit.
Honestly, I was highly disappointed as well, though, because we went through all of the hotel drawers, and you know how every hotel ever, when you open the bedside cabinet drawer, there's a Bible. There wasn't a
Mhm.
Bible. I was so disappointed.
That's because you don't live in 1980s America. What are you talking about?
Nah, man, every hotel I've ever visited, whether it's been a Premier Inn or like an actual hotel or B&B or whatever, there's always been a Bible in the top drawer of the bedside cabinet.
So what you're saying is, before you were there, a Jag driver had rented that room. There was nothing left in
Jay, how did you know about that hotel?
it. He'd already cleaned it out. He came back for the chair.
I wanted a White House desk because I was on the other side of on the other isolated corridor.
No, I did as well. It was fucking gorgeous. I think I've still got a picture of it on my phone. I took
I got a picture of a chair.
Honestly, I do
Oh,
have a
there's
picture
White
of
House
the
desk
chair
on
as well. Honestly, two young lads standing in the middle of hotel room corridor, and we just stood there taking pictures of a writing desk and a chair.
What is wrong with you two?
There's a lot wrong with us too.
I know.
I am sending the fucking writer's desk to you, Stefan, because I know for a fact you will appreciate it.
I would appreciate the writer's desk. Why the fuck are you taking photos of chairs?
Because it was the creepy chair in the middle of a corridor.
You went to a fucking hotel, you Ruby. You ain't played bargain hunt.
I mean, last time we went to a hotel room, we ended up sitting there trying tofu and both nearly spewing, so...
I feel like we should try again, but we should cook it this time.
I mean, I've had tofu and ramen and stuff, and it's lovely. It's just because we tried it raw.
And we did try a brick of tofu.
Yeah, a dry brick, which you opened it and watery substance seeped out and it stank.
Well, at least it all went in the bin and smelled nice in the hotel room the next day.
Yeah.
Carl, you're the budding chef in this like friendship group.
I am indeed. I have used tofu in a couple of my recipes. It does actually taste good when cooked. Because it has no real flavour itself. So it
Fucking chef.
absorbs the flavour of everything else.
I made a bolognese last night. Oh no, that
I
was
made a
Chinese
rea-
last night. I made a bolognese the night before.
My mother has just made a broth today and quoted my grandfather's most iconic words. If you can stick a spoon in it and the spoon stands up, it's thick enough.
Did you just
That's
nearly
like-
invent a stoon?
That's what I
Spoon,
say
yes.
to the winners.
That's
Like-
what?
I was on a very small production for this BFI shoot. You know, it's like things were getting slow. I was staying around home just in case Penelope arrived any day.
Mhm.
And this one guy who remembered me, he was the security guard on this location we're at, and he remembered me from a big ITV shoot that we'd done a few months back. And the runner was going around asking for people's coffee orders, and she came to me, and she asked for my so I gave her my coffee order, and security guard told us, "Listen, I'll come and help you make his coffee for you." I was like, "Shit," rememberable. And I came back, and the guy had a fucking spoon standing in the middle of the coffee, and it was a nice coffee as well.
That's the way
He made shit
like
coffee into good coffee because you could make a spoon standing because it's just thick.
tea, coffee, broth, anything that can have a spoon stood straight up in it and it does not move is good.
Lasagna. That's good. You
Lasagna.
can stand a spoon on lasagna.
It is. It means it's got substance. And it's not just layers of cheese with no meat or anything inside. I hate it when you do that. You get a lasagna and you're so happy and excited that you've got the lasagna, and you cut in and
Inner
you
Italians
first
coming
cut
out.
and you pull it out, and all it is grease and cheese and a tiny bit of meat, and you just look down at this horrible, deflated, yellow, soggy mess that looks pathetic. and you sat there going,
Then Cal realised he was looking
what
at his
type of
own life.
vegan? What type of vegan has stolen the meat out of my fucking dinner?
Jay. Finally, it's took 2 seasons, but we've made Kyle inadvertently go on a rant about tiny meat.
I want, fuck's sake.
And on our birthday, smell? Yeah.
I know.
I want, if I have a lasagna, I want it to have meat. If I go order a pie, I want it to have meat. If I order something that says it has meat in it, it is legally required to have meat in it. Not a tiny little shred,
Don't
not a
it's
tiny
legally
little, a
required.
tiny little teaspoon of meat. No, it is false advertising if it has no fucking meat in it.
No, because like that
What
little
if, like-
teaspoon of meat is still meat, regardless the quantity of said meat in
Yes, but
said thing you've ordered.
if you buy a steak pie and there is one piece of steak in it, that is not a steak pie, that is a gravy pie with a bit of steak that accidentally fell in.
What if
No, 'cause,
you
like,
what if it's
it's-
meat free, but like a fly dies in the packet?
Then
Then that's
then
an
that's a
unlucky
lie.
vegan.
Well, then that's a lie. It's not meat free anymore.
It's an unlucky vegan.
Oh, lucky. Finally got a bit of meat in the diet.
in fairness, fly is supposed to be very nutritious.
Yeah, for
No,
spiders.
One of the lads at work, he was apparently like he was having a meal with someone, and like someone was a vegan, and they were serving up the food and stuff, and I think it was like a takeaway or something, and they were like, we think this is vegan, you can have this, and it was like spring rolls and bits and pieces like that, and they assumed because it was like a vegetarian spring roll type thing, it would be vegetarian, and she bit into it, and apparently after like 3 of these spring rolls and a bit of the main course, she turned and looked and just went, "I'm enjoying it. It's delicious, but I don't think it's vegetarian." And like they looked it up afterwards after they'd finished eating the entire thing, and it turns out it had meat galore in it. Like half of the fucking food was meat.
I watched a fucking episode of. Remember Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares?
Yes.
And he could not explain to this guy why you can't use the pork broth to make gravy for a vegetarian meal. He was like, it hasn't got meat in it. He was like, but you're using pork, you're using the pork broth. He was like, well, yeah, that's what gives it its flavour. He was like, no, you can't use pork broth. That woman is a vegetarian. She's ordered a vegetarian meal. And he was like, right. And he was like, but there's pork, you can't use the pork broth in the gravy. And he was like, but if I don't do that, it'll not have the same flavour. And they were like, yes, but she's a vegetarian. He was like, but there's no meat on the plate. He was like,
Some people
thought
don't
he was
have
going to kill him.
common sense. Some people just do not have common sense, but that is half of the reason anybody watches Gordon Ramsay is just to see him lose his shit.
And it was because she found a bone in the gravy. And she was like, hold on, this is a vegetarian meal, what the fuck? Plants don't have bones.
Oh, I'd be concerned if any sort of meal that I had that like came with a bone in the gravy, to be fair.
Well,
Like,
it was just a
surely-
tiny, like, it wasn't like a pig skull. It was just
No,
like
I know, but surely you would sieve it out. Surely the gravy has been through a sieve or something to filter out bits.
yeah, you'd think so, but bones.
Bits and bones. Anyway, I think we need to take a book out of the Swedish book because since we're
leaf.
going all multinational.
A leaf out of the
Are we going to
Swedish
make
book, not a book.
meatballs?
You're going to make people?
Hold on, what did I
Swedish
say? Did I not
meatballs?
say leaf out of a book? Out of
You
their
said
book?
we need to take a book out of a Swedish book.
I mean, you could take a book out of a Swedish book. We're going to take a book out of a Swedish book and make it our own. It's the British way.
No, the
No,
British
that
way
is
is
a
to
bit
take the whole
most
library and then say it was yours
British
anyway.
way,
Yeah.
I like the look of that thing. I'm gonna take it and call it my own.
And then if you go, no, but that's really old and important in my history, we'll go, you've put it in the museum so you can come pay and look at it.
Yeah. And then maybe in 200 or 300 years we'll give you it back. Once people are bored with looking at
That's
it.
if,
It's time to kickstart the British
that's if
Empire,
we get
boys.
enough donations. Otherwise, this is going in the back of the National History Museum and never been seen again.
Yeah. Or if
time
it
to
brings
kickstart the British Empire.
or if it brings good publicity. I am reckoning, right? Barbados just got its independence from the British Empire. It's just become a republic. I bet that there's going to be some sort of artifacts in the British museums that are going to be publicized as giving returns to their rightful owners via donations and things like that, just because it will bring good publicity to the museums now that it is now an actual company of its own. Not company, country of its own. You know for a fact that's going to happen. It happens every time. But no, I was talking about the exercise of death cleaning in Sweden.
Yeah.
What's the exercise
Do you
of
guys
death cleaning, Kyle?
The exercise of death cleaning, my dear Sir J, it is the concept where elderly people deliberately clear out and declutter their possessions so that nobody has to do it once they're dead.
Why would I be that considerate? You can clean my shit.
I love
I
the
mean,
idea. Though. It's such a considerate. It's one of those things where, like, how considerate can you be where you know you're gonna die, so you just start clearing out all of your shit just so your family doesn't have to do it. I kind of like that idea because
How
it
do they
completely messed up my mum when she had to clear out all my granddad's stuff, and we've still got a lot of my granddad's stuff here in the house.
I'll do the opposite, to be honest. I'll fucking hoard everything.
You just start buying random shit.
I won't even start buying it. I'm a Jag driver. Fucking take it.
I mean, that's the thing. To be fair, if you know you're dying and you want to be an asshole, you can just go, well, fuck it, I'm dying anyway. I'm just going to spend all my life savings and buy whatever the fuck I want. So you just end up with a house full of shit.
It won't be like house full of shit as per se. It'll be like house full of like strategical shit. Like I planned this to be for when my kids ever clear out my house when I die, they'll go in and question my fucking life morals.
I want it so that when I die, people look through my stuff and it all has different clues to different shit. Like I want a grandfather clock that's got a clue hidden behind the fucking pendulum and shit like that, or engraved on the pendulum. And then eventually after like years of going through all of the shit that I had, all the tiny little trinkets and boxes and bits and pieces, to discover that all leads to just a giant. Well, that was a waste of time, wasn't it, you idiot?
No, have an Easter egg hunt, like only like scavenger clues to the next location where your next belongings are. And at the very end, they spend good 5 years of their life. They're dedicated to this fucking Easter egg hunt. They found a box. They're thinking, this is where my granddad's fucking money is. This is where all the money is. We're gonna get in it. Open it. If it is a picture of you shagging a grandma, like cheesy grin and thumbs up, and on the back says, "Nice try, arseholes."
Fucking
It's
hell.
time, Kyle. It's time.
It is time.
It's time. Everyone's on about space travel. It's time to restart the greatest empire in history.
It is indeed. I need to upload
Jay hasn't
that.
even
No.
seen in the chat yet.
No, it's time to start our own empire.
Yeah, no, go on the chat.
Oh, watch out.
We do need to start our own empire. The swept aside one.
Messenger.
Yes, messenger swept.
How are we gonna get like
Listen,
oh,
you keep trying to get my stuff played in space. Everyone's on about all the millionaires are doing space travel. I'm just saying, it's time.
Exactly. We are going to end up getting a fucking
Arrested.
king. We will succeed. We will get ourselves I was about to say a colony, an empire.
Guys, right, okay, all seriousness, if we are ever in any position and this is a bit huge if we are ever in any position where we can afford space travel. I'm not going for rocket. Doesn't look like that.
What do you mean? If it looks like that little
We
bit in the
need
corner,
to
then?
create. Oh, why have you
It's fucking
changed your
excellent.
logo?
What?
Because it's the ship.
I love
It's the ship.
anything. You have tools there to show the audience of what we're laughing at.
I mean,
But
I
no,
can't
you
find
decided
it
to
anywhere.
change your logo.
I cannot find anywhere else to upload a fucking picture that will not be behind us.
That is foresight. He's showing the future of the company.
I am. I'm showing.
We're
are
taking the
going to
toll ship
build-
to Mars.
We are going to build a fucking old school wooden warship, and we are going to retrofit it so that it can do space travel, and we are going to fuck off to Mars, and we are going to be the first podcast recorded on Mars.
Can I just say, I feel
Kyle,
like
I
the word
don't trust you,
retrofit have done a lot of heavy lifting in that equation. You can't just retrofit a fucking old school ship to space travel.
Yes, you can.
I don't think they're airtight, Kyle.
Like, can we
Anywhere.
just leave it to Stefan to navigate us to Mars and leave Kyle off at the side?
No, I think we should let Kyle. Although no, because I don't want to end up in the sun.
No,
I
this
don't
is the
trust
thing, you
Kyle
keep
to
me there.
navigate the toll ships on black sails. Never mind to the Mars.
Hey, I am
That's a
fucking
good point.
fantastic on black sails. Also, you are going to need me for my stupidity but random fucking batshit crazy amazing ideas such as retrofitting the fucking ship to go to Mars.
Oh, you're there. You're just not the fucking quartermaster, is what we're saying.
I'm the fucking armorer.
Or staying away from the stern.
If we
Yeah.
if we are making a ship that goes to Mars, I am making damn well fucking sure those cannons work. Even if just to shoot at the fucking SpaceX and all of the millionaires trying to fly up alongside in other rockets. Imagine that you're a millionaire. You've bought your ticket on a space rocket. You're going up, and then you just see this 1800s warship going past you, firing its cannons at you.
Land ho!
Enemy
We
on the
wanna make
starboard
this,
bow.
Because we've seen another
Fire a
spaceship.
volley.
They're ringing the doorbell because we've seen another spaceship.
If you want to make this dream a reality for us, please go to supporter.acast.com/taken off air.
I don't know how you would make this a reality, but fucking do it.
Oh, hey.
We just need
Oh, God.
Elon Musk's money.
We do.
No, because we're not going to get Elon Musk because we keep calling him Elton every time you mention his name.
Nah, I stopped myself. I felt myself going out in there, and I stopped it.
Elton John? Well, he did have Rocket Man.
Rocket Man.
Rocket Man.
Although I think that has slightly different meaning.
Yeah, that was about
Man.
drugs.
Rocket Man, burn on a midnight ever long. No idea if that's lyrics.
God,
Kyle just makes up words.
I do. You thought I had what? Any idea what I'm doing?
Topic.
No.
yeah. Have we just ended this episode blind?
Do you know what? We haven't.
I
We've
did
not
have
had a single
topic.
topic.
I did have topics, but we ended up just bullshitting my way through because it's my
Right.
birthday episode.
We've got
so why
15
not?
minutes to talk about your topic.
50 minutes to talk about my topic. Hold on a second, I have to find it. Okay. We're gonna go to a combination of France and Japan, and from the sounds of it, fucking Canada as well.
I can talk about France, Japan, and Canada.
Apparently, a
Konnichiwa.
Japanese AI system that was designed to distinguish the difference between croissants from bear claws has turned out to be capable of identifying cancer cells. It's a story of shoot for the moon, miss, and somehow you'll end up landing on a fucking bigger moon. Apparently,
I've got
the-
questions.
You've got questions? Okay, go for it.
Why?
Alright, here's the why. Market research for Japanese bakeries determines that they sell more breads and pastries the more different varieties they have, and that Japanese bakery customers prefer items which aren't wrapped, because individually wrapped things give the impression of being preserved or mass fabricated. So the obvious solution was to sell as many different kinds of breads and baked goods while keeping them unwrapped. But in practice, it's a nightmare because it means you have to have someone sitting there with no barcodes to scan or anything, having to remember all the individual codes or having to type it into a machine and remembering the individual price for each item by heart and add them up manually, which meant it was a very slow process. It meant training new people took a very long time, all that sort of thing. So, a bakery chain owner decided to approach a computer guy in 2007 to ask for a system to automate it. It took 5 years, and the company barely survived a financial crisis during the time, but they managed to develop a highly specialized AI that will look at a pile of bread a customer puts on a till and automatically identify each individual bit of bread.
You said barcodes. I thought you said bear claws.
No, it does. It'll differentiate croissants to bear claws. Bear claws are a type of bread.
No, my favourite bread's still the
So you
bastard.
did say bear claws, but
I did say bear
I had
claws.
no idea. Bear claws. I didn't know that was a type of bread. I was like thinking, what kind of bakery are you going into if you see like an actual bear claw and a
He's Russian.
croissant?
No, yeah, it's.
I don't want to go to Russian Greg's, Russian GR eggs.
GR eggs.
It's used in Danish and that sort of thing. You know, cinnamon rolls. It's basically like a cinnamon roll where it's got like the icing splayed on top and stuff. It's just usually in a different shape. It's in like a sort of claw shape, hence the reason it's called a bear claw. But apparently, like they need an AI system to look at a pile of bread and go, right, this is that, this is that, this is that, tally it all up, and then charge them correctly while the live cashier is free to make small talk and help them pack and everything. The whole process was fast, sanitary, simple, and pleasing for both the customers and employees. And to an outsider, it looked like fucking magical bullshit. That is a quote from the article. In 2000, bear in mind, it was commissioned in 2007 and it took 5 years to make. In 2017, a doctor saw an ad for the bakery scanning system, and it occurred to him that cells under a microscope don't look all that different from weird loaves of bread. Apparently, I don't know what fucking doctor he is, but that's not what I would assume cells look like. So he tried it, and apparently the same machine can look at the different cells in a human body and will pick out which cell is which. So it will immediately identify which cell is a cancer cell. You can use almost the exact same code that identifies bread to identify in a tissue sample any sort of cancer cells and every sort of different cells. And now people have been apparently buying the program for everything from analyzing the readout from big physics experiments to labeling charms and amulets for sale at shrines to detecting problems in the wiring on jet engines. It's apparently that accurate and that wide range of a spectrum. It can look at anything and just go, yeah, I know what that is, it's this. So long as you tell it, this is what you're looking at.
What about
your lunchtime trip to fucking Greg's is just completely ruined. You know, you go down, you pick up a croissant, you pick up some fucking cinnamon rolls, you pick up some fucking yum-yums, you throw it down in front of this computer, and the computer says, yep, you've got cancer.
You'd be gutted, wouldn't you? You'd be fucking sick.
Well, no, you have to put in an actual... You have to put in a tissue sample. You can't just go, here you go, here you go, you've scanned my hand while I've been putting bread on a pile. It does actually require a tissue sample.
Well, you didn't say that, did you? No, you just said it scans you.
I did
Apparently,
say
it scans you like a slice of bread.
No, I did
fucking I heard, like, it looks at a piece of bread thinking, that's Robinson's. It looks at your hand and think, yep, that's leukemia.
I mean, it could.
So you have to tell her what it's looking at.
So like if it's looking at wiring, you would input examples of different types of wires. So I'm guessing it's like the preset thing where you'll have
Yeah, so you have to program it, calibrate it.
you'll have to program it, calculator. But once it does that, it'll be able to look at anything. You can just put it there, and it'll just go, "Yep, that's that, that's that." You can give it a big bundle of wires, like the traditional. All the wires have had sex behind the TV, and somehow ended up with a massive ball. You can put that ball in front of the machine, and the machine will just go, "Yep, that's that wire, that wire, that wire, that wire," and it'll just differentiate every single wire it can find.
But that's just the material.
Can you imagine if
Yeah.
Ann Summers had this?
I feel like
So what I'm thinking is like if
I
you
think
have a different like that plastic can make different things that covers a wire.
yes.
So it might have the same molecular makeup as a certain carrier bag or a plastic toolbox or something.
But I'm assuming you wouldn't input that into the device if you're making it specifically look for wires. You would only input wires into the programming.
Yeah, but if you put your box down in front of it and it was like, "There's wires here,"
it probably would. The same as if you had the program sitting there looking at bread and you put down, I don't fucking know, some flour, it would probably just sit there and go, bread.
but what if you had like a wire made out of bread? Then it would be like, "That's bread," and you'd be like, "But it's a wire."
I want
I'm not convinced it can sort my bread from my wires. That's all I'm saying.
I want a bread that's in the shape of I want a loaf that's in the shape of a computer with wires and stuff now.
No, you want a roll of bread. As in,
No,
like,
I want like a big loaf. Big loaf of bread in the shape of a computer with the wires and stuff.
what about a computer in the shape of a loaf of bread?
We've already got those. They already exist, dude. They were around the 90s.
Bread ain't square. It's got to have a little fucking thing in. Little shape, like a bit of toast.
That's the thing. It's literally got the little shape. It's just
Dude, I saw a seat that looked like toast.
there's loads of shit nowadays. Like everybody makes the amount of shit that you can buy. You can buy a fucking coffee machine that looks like a coffee cup. You can buy a toaster that just looks like a loaf of bread. You can buy a fucking seat that looks like an arse.
Just been waiting to say something and we're just hurting his head.
We are. I'm hurting my own head, to be honest.
No, the moment passed now.
Because you forgot, or
Because
No,
we moved on.
it's just because I was saying, imagine if Ann Summers had this magic machine.
yeah.
Not just a barcode. You just put a dildo on in front of the camera, and it says,
And then it will go to wire.
This dildo
plastic.
costs £20.
Yep, them's on some.
We'd be able to find out how much our own privacies cost.
That's the most polite way of saying our genitalia you have ever fucking said in your life.
I could like just like flop down my raging penis just like in front of this fucking camera. It'll come with a price tag, so I can accurately sell myself in each corners of my life if it gets that bad.
I love the fact that
because you're missing the point. It scans the genetic makeup.
So unless you've got plastic,
So unless you got your plastic cock out,
two things. I love the fact that one, Jay was polite on the first and then turned to raging penis for the second. And two, the fact that Jay's plan for this is turn up to Ann Summers, see if they've got a machine. If they do have the machine, just pull his pants down and slam his cock on a till.
you say a slam. It'll be
And
more
just-
like a gentle.
Tap. And then just see how much it's worth.
But then,
man-
unless somebody's put
a
flesh
man
in front of the
out
machine
alone.
before, you'd have to calibrate it to say it's a penis. And then if someone like was trying to scan something and accidentally got their hand, they'd be like, "Penis."
What about brothel? Imagine if that's how a brothel sets its prices. It just scans the employees every month and see if they've gone up or down in value.
Stock market of
God.
prostitutes.
Yeah.
Analyzes the diameter and the fucking depth.
The diameter,
Oh,
the
hi.
depth, the density, as in like the density of the cells, the youth of the cells and stuff. So like it would recognize that the older ones would probably be charged a little bit less, unless it was specifically for a client who preferred that sort of thing.
Can you just imagine
How
that,
have we
Doris? It's that
gotten
time of
here?
it's that time of month again. Open your legs and show the robot.
I mean, you're saying that there was a time in history where young women would have to have priests and nuns do that to them just to make sure that they were still, in fact, a virgin so that they could be married off for land and profit.
I don't think priests
Yeah.
scan people's vaginas on the side.
Can you imagine if
Only
ordered
if
the
they're
wrong
under
fucking
5.
machine and poor Doris just sits on the machine, opens up her legs, so this fucking barcode replacing scanner her fudge, and it comes up with that's yeast, so definitely Warburtons.
Dear God. He's been wait.
You can't help
He's
it. You
been
can't help. That's why he set this whole thing up.
Yeah, he's so happy with himself.
This conversations went down a dark route.
He's laughing
Just because
so
we've had
hard.
Jay take over.
His face is nearly matching the colour of his sofa now.
Comes to something when you laugh at this or at your own jokes.
If I don't laugh, no fucker else will.
No. Don't laugh. Don't worry
At
about
least
laughing.
someone's
You're not
laughing
with
at
you.
us.
I know. Jesus. Thank you. Anyway,
Still
so we're
laugh
going to cut this
marvelous.
one short after that terrible joke.
I was
mean, we
willing
obviously-
to go another
We've
half hour and have some topics, but Jay's sullied the mood now.
Like a yeast infection I spread.
What? Why are we still going here?
Jay, man.
You can extract that. What? It might go more, mate.
Fucking hell. So long as the taking off her
Oh,
birthday
that
cake
jam.
doesn't have
Nope,
any
it's
fucking
just
yeast
your
in it now.
period. It's a tell them take a week off.
The taking off her birthday cake can't have anything to do with yeast anymore.
One of their birthday cakes that look like a vagina.
Oh, fucking hell.
Happy
Why are those
birthday to
even
take it off
thing?
air. 2 years.
Happy birthday
Your
to taking off
second
her.
birthday.
A second
Oh.
birthday.
We're not going to make a
Fucking
third if
You've
this is
been-
how it's going to go.
We're gonna be
You've been
alcoholics
watching-
by the end of the fucking third.
What do you mean by the end of the third? I was by the start of the first.
Same.
I'm less alcoholic now than I used to be.
I think this podcast has got me off alcohol a bit. Like, I don't know
Same.
why.
Because you still do what evenings.
Thank
At
you
least
very
you've
much.
been watching it anyway until Jay just got up banned.
You've been watching / listening to Taking Off Air. In all fairness, we did as
With-
well, didn't we? Like, our birthday means it's literally near the end of the season.
It is. We've managed to time that well. I think we could have timed it better if someone gave birth so that they had the birthday the same days. Actually, that's the thing. If anybody has had a child at the same time as
Monday
the
the
start of
6th.
Taking Off Air, and if anybody has the same birthday as Taking Off Air, let us know because you can celebrate your birthday with Taking Off Air.
Yeah.
We'll send you a free hoodie.
We're family friendly. Just, well, 2 of the 3 were.
We're all family friendly.
You're the
It's
one with a
depends
family and you're the one taught like coming up with that shit. You're the least family friendly.
I think we should have a Taking Off Air spin off where, like, we get
What, Taking Off Air Kids?
Taking Off Our Kids. So we've got the people who have kids, like the fathers, sit around and talk shit and give bad parent advice.
So that would just be you
Yeah, you.
sitting
It'll just be
talking.
me. Yeah, because, like, the other 2 won't fucking show up.
Hey, Christ. Right. Thank you very much. You've been listening to your hosts, Kyle, Stefan, and the disgusting turd that is Jay. You can. I'm gonna try and speed run this. Let's see if I'm gonna try and do this even faster than last time.
How fast did you do it last time?
I did it in less
Season
than a
3
minute
we're
last time.
pre-recording by the end of this. Like,
All right, okay.
We are going to try and pre-record
I'm,
this. So
I'm
this is
watching the
why I'm
timer.
doing
I
it
saw
now.
the time here.
Right.
If you just do it.
why you
Find us
saying-
on Facebook at facebook.com/takeonofair. Find us on follow us on Twitter at takeonofair. TikTok
Find
at
us on
takeonofair.
follow
You
us.
want to wear our merch? takeonofair.com/shop. You can buy hoodies, t-shirts, all you want. There is a special t-shirt on there, which is just a plain white t-shirt, which I think is £100 or £400. I can't remember. You can follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/takeonofair. You can find us on Spotify. You just search Taken Off Air Podcast and we will turn up. You can find us at www.takenofair.com. The website has been revamped for your fucking pleasure. You can buy us a coffee or me a cup of tea at buymeacoffee.com/takeenofair. Follow us on Instagram at takeenofair. Find us on Reddit, although we'd never fucking touch Reddit, with r/takeenofair. Support us on Acast with supporter.acast.com/takeenofair. Join us every week with takeenofair.com/live, where you can watch this bullshit live and see us absolutely be terrible hosts. Your producer has been Ashley Pingleton. Your hosts have been Kyle Harrison, Stephen J. Finlayson. There is no Jordan, as he was going out for 2 drinks and never came back. Yours has been presented by Sept Aside Productions Limited, and I thank you very much, and I bid you adieu.
That was exactly 1 minute and 15 seconds.
I need to cut it down. I did it faster last time. Fucking
I
hell.
mean, you did.
Just
Anyway.
end this. Just end this. I've got something to say. I don't want to say it on live or recording.
Oh, but you try to bait me with that shit.
Just say it.
No,
Say
just
it.
end it. End it.
End your life. Okay. Jay won't be with next time. We would have ended his life.